video with your girl Krystal. Coming to you guys because I got some new concealers. I got this one, Juvia's, number 8. And I also have this one, which is number 14. So I want to test them out and see. I'm thinking this might be a tad bit too dark for my under eye, but I could potentially contour with it, so we'll see. So I'm just gonna go ahead and prep my items, and I'll be back. Hey you guys. Okay, so I'm back. So I'm gonna be going into the Joseph's Coat palette again today, because there's so many different colors that I just want to experiment with. I have no idea what I'm wearing today, but I just wanted to play in this again. If you haven't seen my other video, detail Joseph's Coat, well, it's showcasing the Joseph's Coat from Geek Cosmetics. I'll show you the front of it. It's really pretty. There's that. I did do a live video on my courageous-beauty.com page on Facebook, and I uploaded that live video up to YouTube. And basically, it says that there is a message in the makeup, so definitely check it out. It's pretty cool. So anyway, I want to get into some colors here, and of course, you know, I'm going to find me a transition color and move from there. I'm actually feeling this blessed color because I feel blessed, right? So I'm going to go ahead and get into that and start getting that on. Take my glasses off. I don't have any contacts right now. So we just gonna start getting this color on. It's very pigmented. Now last time when I actually used these colors, I did not put a base on because I just wanted to see how the colors picked up, and they picked up really good. So I do that when I'm testing the colors, because honestly I feel like when you put a base of concealer or any type of eyeshadow primer, I don't really feel like you're giving the colors a fair chance by themselves just to see. So that's what I like doing. So yeah, so anyway, I'm just gonna get this color on and figure out what I'm doing next. I have no idea. I'm just going with the flow, seeing what I like and don't like. And I think I'm gonna just sweep this all across here. I don't think I'm gonna go up any higher than that on here right yet, just yet. Yeah, so just gonna go ahead and sweep this on across. Yeah, so I hope you guys are doing well. I did also put out another episode of my podcast, Courageous Beauty, on Anchor. It is anchor.fm/Courageous Beauty podcast. You can also catch me on Spotify, and the name of that episode is called Release Matters. And so just to give you a little tidbit of what I was talking about, we have to be careful when we're going through something, what we use as our outlet of release, because depending on what it is, it can create addictions. It can create it can add fuel to the fire of what you're already experiencing. So we have to be careful how we release what it is that we're going through. So I had a situation where my husband and I, we were having a very emotional conversation, nothing to do with each other, but just things that happened to us in our past. And sometimes when you're not fully healed from a thing, it can really still affect you emotionally. And so in that state of mind, I'm gonna transition to the next color, by the way, as I'm talking. Let me just put this on and tell you the next color. I think I'm gonna go into this color is called Jealousy right here. I'm gonna go into that color. So I never used that one, so let's try it. So yeah, actually I did use this one. I'm gonna go into it again. So so anyway, I'm gonna just put that on and start blending it in and see how I like that as we talk. So the situation was, we were talking about free will and how we believe that, you know, situations and circumstances arise that cause us to not live out our free will, not because of anything, because of God, but because of people, because of man. And people will take your kindness for weakness. You may do one good thing for them and then they expect you to keep doing it. And it's like, no, this is something that I did out of the kindness of my heart. because I have free will. This is not something that I have to constantly do. And it's not fair that you keep expecting this from me, you know? So not to go into the conversation of who we were talking about and all that stuff like that. I don't think that's necessarily important to get the point of what we're talking about. But the point is, I'm sure we've all been through situations where it's like, you know, you feel like you've been taken advantage of. And it does matter on the person based on, you know, your relationship with them, on how you feel like they affected you and all, you know, all that stuff like that. You thought maybe, oh man, I never thought this person would do me like that. You can't really put your weight on people. That's one mistake that we all make. You can't put your weight and trust on people. Love them, pray for them, but don't put your weight as far as you're all. We're supposed to put that trust in God, right? So that was the baseline of the conversation. So I was emotional, you know, about the situation. And then I was preparing myself because we were getting ready to go outside. And I've mentioned before that, you know, I'm afraid of the cicadas that are out. I don't know if you are in the area or whatnot. I think I like how that looks so far. So I'm going to move on to a different color. But you know, so I was already apprehensive about going outside. So I was like, man, you know, on top of being emotional, then I started getting anxious and, you know, getting ready to go outside. And then my husband was like, hey, babe, why don't we go to the gun range? And I was like, no, I don't want to go. And my mindset at the time was, I just didn't want to go. You know what I mean? But God, He will order our steps, and He knows us, and He knows what we need, what we have need of, and will even order our speech, order the things that we do. You know, so not knowing why I was saying it, and not to give all of my podcasts away. Here's a gold color right here that I'm going to go into. It literally just says gold. So I think I'm going to pop that into the inner corner so I can go in and get into the, yeah, I like that. Get into the foundation. So the point of the matter is, you know, I was talking to my mom, and she was like, oh girl, you just go. Why don't you picture the cicadas on the target or whatever? And I was just like, no, I don't want to go. And I said, Mom, you have no idea what conversation we just had about free will. And my thing is, if I say I don't want to do something, that's what I mean. Like, I don't want to do it. No disrespect to you. No disrespect to my husband. No disrespect to anybody. Like, never. Like, I'm not a disrespectful person. But the point of it is, that was a conversation we just had. And let's normalize, let someone's no be their no. Let someone's yes be their yes. Let's normalize not taking advantage of people, you know, especially, and they were not taking advantage of me, but just the situation that was at hand, you know. So let's normalize that, you know. So my no should be enough. So anyway, my husband's like, you know what? You're right, babe. It's okay. We don't have to go. So I said, okay, cool. So we let it go. And then later on, I got back on the phone with my mom, and I said, you know what, Mom? I said, I figured out why I didn't want to go, because I don't want the gun range to be the outlet for me. When I was going through something emotionally, I don't want that to be the thing that I run to release steam. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't want that to be an appropriate outlet for me, because I wasn't in a mindset stable enough to be handling something dangerous like that. Not that I was crazy and, you know, whatever, but if you're emotionally unstable in a situation, it's not wise to go do something like that, right? So God, in His infinite wisdom, put it in my heart to say no, right? Plus, I'm a new shooter. You know what I mean? Like, I've only shot a gun one time, you know? But the point of the whole thing is, it became a podcast topic for me. It became a message for me that I had to live through in order for me to share. And that's what I always believe. I think that's cute. Of course, I got to do cleanup. If I feel like the colors get lost as I start applying foundation and concealers and all that stuff like that, I may add. And I may even bring this color up just a tad bit more. I'm not really sure what I want to do with that yet, but I'm going to keep it moving because I'm on a time crunch, of course. Actually, let me check my time. Okay. Yeah. Give me 1 second. Okay. So, you know, so the thing of it is, I have to make sure that I am mindful of the release. the avenue of release that I choose. So for me, it's prayer. For me, it's scripture. For me, it's meditation. For me, it's being grateful, thinking about the things that could have happened, that didn't happen. You understand what I'm saying? So that's for me, options of release. And I suggest that you find a mode, a mean for you, you know, and that's just something that I've learned throughout the years. I'm going to wet my beauty blender. I'm gonna wet it with this. Just soak it. I'm learning that works really, really good, especially for blending concealer that's already dry. So, but I've learned that throughout the years that we are responsible for how we react to situations. And, you know, yes, people are responsible for what they do to us, but that's not my business on what happens to them or what not. You know what I'm saying? I am responsible for me. I'm responsible for my actions. So if if the outlet that I choose makes the situation worse, there's a scripture that says a person that cannot control their spirit is like a city without walls. So if I'm constantly emotionally imbalanced and I'm constantly choosing the wrong type of outlet, I'm emotionally imbalanced. I can't control my spirit or whatever, you know. So that's why we have to be careful. That looks better already with me just blending that in. You know what I'm saying? So that was my thought pattern. Once I realized what was happening, you know, once I realized God was showing me like, this is a good topic to talk about, being careful of what your release is. So that's what I'm learning, because our first response to something that happens should not be to cuss someone out. Our first response to when something happened, I'm going to go ahead and I've already primed. I'm going to go ahead in with my foundation. And this is Ethiopian. So number 400, Juvia's I Am Magic. So I'm going in with that. But that should not be our first response. You know what I'm saying? To you know, cuss someone out, you know, even though a lot of times it is. Let's just be honest. Let's keep it real. You know, we're human beings. We're not perfect. So, you know, someone make you mad, oh, you MF, you this, you that. You know what I'm saying? That should not be our first response. If we wouldn't want that to be someone's first response to us when we do something, we want mercy, we want grace, right? So even if you're not giving that person grace and mercy in front of their face, do it for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Even when situations arise back and maybe you've experienced like PTSD or whatever, you know, get help. You know, seek counsel. Mental illness is real, y'all. Like, I wouldn't say that I'm, you know, experiencing mental illness to the point where it's like clinical or, you know, necessary for me to take medicine. But I think everybody has gone through something where they experience like PTSD from situations and things that may arise or whatever. So it's our responsibility when you recognize those things to take ownership. Take ownership and seek counsel. Take ownership and be a responsible adult and get help, you know, because the worst thing that you can do is, what if I did go to the range and now all the people that did me wrong, now I'm putting their head on the target. That would be so bad, right? Not and obviously I'm not gonna do something to hurt somebody, you know what I mean? But you know, I'm a loving person, but at the same time, it's like when you're upset, where are you placing that? You know, what are you using to say, okay, let me de-escalate this situation. Let me make it make sense, you know? I know this is not my character. I know this is not, you know, how God should be represented, you know. So that's basically, I didn't give everything away. I kind of gave a lot away. But I would like for you guys to, if you watch this video, it'll definitely be down below. So definitely go listen to that episode and go listen to all the subsequent episodes before that. I would appreciate that. But yeah, so that's something that I learned this week. I'll have more coming as well because I have another topic at hand. And it's called, well, I don't know what I'm going to call the actual podcast yet, but the topic is the whole armor of God, putting on our armor. So that's going to be my next topic that I'm excited about. I need to do a little more studying so that I can figure out how God wants me to communicate that. I'm going to go in this concealer to conceal under my eyes. This is the number 14. This is the one that I just got. The one that I use on my eyes is number 15. So it's literally the shade before that. So I want to see how that goes. So it's might be a shade lighter, but let's see. I don't know. It might be a shade darker or lighter, whichever. But I'm just going in under my under eye, bringing it down the side of my nose, and bringing it out and blending it in. I'm using the little point of the beauty blender. But yeah, I really hope that you guys find some insight from the message today. You know, I may not always have a message. We may just literally be talking about makeup. We may sing. We may, you know, whatever God puts on my heart, you know. So it's not all just about makeup, you know. If you haven't watched any of my other videos, you probably wouldn't know. But the whole reason this started, as far as me doing makeup and stuff like that, is because, well, for one, God put my cousin back into my life. We had lost touch, you know, just like how family does. And she was selling makeup, which is the Farmasi Cosmetics at the time. And she said, girl, you should try these products. And if you want, you can actually start selling them. And they're really nice and blah, 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 blah. And so we got into the conversation. And, you know, we've always talked about God. We've always talked about, you know, what we believe our calling is and all that stuff like that. And so I wanted a platform like this. And so I just thought that it would heighten the possibilities for me to be able to start talking to people and actually have something to talk about, right? And so I was like, okay, well, you know what, Lord, I'm going to use makeup as an opportunity for me to create a platform and to share my love for you. And why not? Because makeup for me was to help boost my confidence. You know what I'm saying? Hold that thought. Be right back. Okay. So I'm actually going to have to step into a meeting. So this is as far as I've gotten so far. So I shall return. I'll be back. Hey, so a lot has happened since I went to the meeting and came back. Okay. So, yeah. So anyway, I'm back. So the only thing that I really did to my face, since I was with you, and I didn't lose my train of thought either on what I was talking about. So I'll get back to that. But the only thing that I did was I set my face. Okay. And those of you who know, I use the Time Locker spray, or sometimes I use the Be Fit Fixer, but this is one that I just had on hand, so I just use this one. Now, I did use the number 14 under my eyes, okay? And then I went to the bathroom and I looked in the mirror and like scared myself. It was too light, okay? So I think that I can still use it, but I may use it as a base as well. I think I can get away with the 15 under here like I did the last time. But yeah, I won't be putting number 14 under here no more. That was way too light. So what I had to end up doing is I had to end up going back into my foundation and putting a little bit on top just to kind of, you know, get it together. So something I wanted to try that was new is setting powder. I've never tried the Juvia's Place setting powder. I have one, or like finishing powder or whatever. I have one that you guys seen me use before, and of course now that I wanted to show you, I can't find it. But anyway, I've used it before. I don't know what I did with it. Oh, here it is. Woo. I got so much stuff right here. So it's called the Mecca Beauty Cosmetics. Now these two powders are definitely different colors. This is a darker color. This is a lighter color. So I may need to do a little blending, but I just wanted to test it. It's hard buying stuff online because you don't really know truly, you know, what your shade is and what you need. Give me 1 second, y'all. Let me close this down. But yeah, so like you don't always know what you need when you're purchasing your your makeup products. So for me, it was like, okay, let me just try it. Because, I mean, honestly, it doesn't matter what color the makeup is. You can use it for something. And if you can't use it for you and you do someone else's makeup, you can use it for them too. So I'm not really too much worried. My sister is a lot lighter than me. All my sisters are a lot lighter than me, actually. And so if I ever did their makeup, I can use it for them. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I see it. I'm a little distracted. Give me one. I'll be right back. 1 second. Okay, back with you. So what I was saying is, it's hard to make a decision sometime on what shade you need when it's online, because you can't really test it. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I find that really hard. And so I honestly really think that I've done a pretty good job so far with the things that I've used, to kind of give it a little more truer. That's the way we looking. And so I don't know, over the years I've just gotten lighter. I don't know. And for whatever reason, it's like I'm having a hard time finding a foundation that would match my face and my neck, because I'm just all different colors. So I just have to work with what I got, you know. And if anybody checking for me like that much, I'm just like, yeah, weird. So anyway, I still want to try this. I want to see what it does. I see a lot of women, they will put this powder here. You know what I'm saying? I don't really think I need anything else there, but I want to, so with the sponge, but I want to kind of just try it with this. And I've noticed that even women sometimes use a clear just to kind of set their foundation. If their foundation is a liquid foundation, I've used liquid foundation and liquid concealer today, and I'm going to be wearing a mask today. So I want to make sure that it kind of gives me a little bit better coverage. So I set my face already. So I'm not really using this for color. I'm just using this to kind of like set the foundation. And I'll let you guys know if it helped, you know, the mask situation, if it really helped. So I'm just only using just a little bit, because like I said, I'm not really using it for color. I'm just wanting it to be, push that back a little bit more, put it up there. Want it to be to help my foundation last a little longer. So anyway, what I was saying is, if you haven't listened to like my videos before or heard my videos on my podcast or whatever, the whole point was for me to start coming out of my comfort zone and coming out of my fears and things. I think that's enough, so I'm not going to use any more. I'll give you a close-up. That's what I mean, you know, with the powder and everything. I think the eyes look good. I'll put on some mascara, and then I'll get into some lips and go from there. So anyway, I wanted to, you know, boost my confidence, and I believe that God has given me a gift to talk to people. And so if I'm afraid to do it, how am I going to be able to, you know, truly fulfill the calling that God has on my life? You know what I'm saying? Whatever exactly that may be. I do believe that, you know, I'm you know, gifted in the area of evangelism. If you don't know what that is, that's basically being a mouthpiece for God. You know what I'm saying? Spreading God's word, and through love, inviting people into the fold. You know what I'm saying? It's ultimately your choice, but you know, I believe that that's one of the gifts that God has given me, which, you know, there is apprehension with that, because you want to make sure, just outside of my own selfish reasons, but I want to make sure that I'm doing what God tells me to do, and that I'm not saying nothing that he doesn't tell me to say, and that I don't do anything that he doesn't tell me to do. So that's something that can bring apprehension, and it should, because you don't want to just be jumping willy-nilly doing something thinking that you know everything, because nobody knows everything, you know. And the other thing is the selfish reasons that I was talking about is, you know, being overweight, you know, not having enough confidence and all that. I feel like those are selfish, because really God doesn't care as far as, if he cared about that being a criteria to call you, he wouldn't call anybody if it meant that you had to be perfect. So that's what I mean by saying God doesn't care. There's no saying like, oh, well, she's fat, I can't call her. Come on, that's dumb. People think like that, but God doesn't think like that. He created us all. We're all fearfully and wonderfully made in his eyes, you know. So anyway, and guess what? Because if it was, you know, maybe because of the way I look, it can show that, you know, I've overcome, you know, maybe because the way that I look, other people that look like me or have issues like me will be able to say like, well, if God loves her, then that means he must love me too. And absolutely he does. Absolutely he does. Okay. So I knew that it was something that I wanted to do. I always wanted to get on YouTube. I've always aspired to do it just because I thought it was fun. But then it was like, okay, I need to have a purpose. This can't just be, let me get on here and shoot the breeze and have fun. I want to do things strategically and in order and have a purpose behind anything that I do, you know? So, yes, I use makeup as the catalyst to get me there, but there's a story behind it, you know? I've always done like eyeshadow and my lips and stuff like that, which I'm getting into some new things with the lips real quick. I'll tell you, this is Juvia's Place Brownie Luxe liner. That's what I'm going in. And then I'm also going to use the bronze maple, like a lip glaze or lipstick. I never know if it's like a lip glaze or lip gloss or lipstick or whatever, but I'm going to use that. So anyway, with that being said, I was just like, you know what? I'm afraid to do this. Let's do it. And so I always refer to the story of Caleb. I don't know if you've ever heard of the story of Caleb in the Bible, but anyway, long story short, the children of Israel were wandering around in the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights. And God said, trust me, he was giving them provision, all the stuff. They murmured and complained. And even though they were in the wilderness, I mean, okay, I ran out of space. I don't have too much longer. So anyway, make a long story short, he saved them from Egypt, right? And so he said, you know, I'm gonna send you to the land of milk and honey. Well, they were afraid, you know, because but the thing of it is, they had just came from Egypt. They had just parted the Red Sea, saved them, and all this stuff like that. Yet they were still murmuring and complaining. So anyway, where Caleb comes in, that he's one of the people there, and he said, you know, he was afraid. They was like, no, I heard they had giants in the land. I heard they had this, they had that, right? All the things that you would think would stop someone from going to go apprehend the land that God told them to go do. If God tells you go do something, yes, there may be things in the way, but he's going to make provision for you to get it, no matter what it is. He's going to make a provision for you to get there. So Caleb was brave, and he said, you know what, I'm going to go. And so he did go. It's something in my eye. And he did go and brought back the fruit of the land to show them. And he was brave. He had a courageous spirit. And so that, for me, I've always leaned toward that, because for me, I thought that was amazing. Because I'm like, man, you going to an unknown place, even though you came from slavery, it's got to be better than where you was at, you know? And so my thing is, if I never try and leap out for things, that I'm never going to know if I can achieve anything, you know? So I started a live video, and the whole point of the video, I said, I'm doing this live video because I'm afraid to do it. That's how it all started. And then I didn't have a name, you know, I was just saying I was first saying do it afraid, you know what I'm saying? Talking about miscarriages, talking about this, talking about things that I've been through, you know? And not wanting people to see me like, oh, they, you know, they gonna think she's fat and they ain't gonna listen to her, and she always talking about God, and all these different things that the enemy wants to try to whisper in your ear to try to tell you or talk you out of your blessing, you know. So I was literally, I almost said something that I don't want to release yet, but ooh, that's so perfect with the eye color. Ooh, okay, that's cute. Sidebar. But anyway, I was literally like just sitting there laying there on the bed talking to my husband, and then I was like, babe, I got it. Courageous Beauty. I got it. And he was like, what's that? And I was like, that's my brand. That is what I want my podcast to be called. That is what I want. And I thought about changing my my YouTube page to Courageous Beauty, but I started a separate YouTube page for that because I want to use that strictly for uploading potential visual podcast episodes. I want to keep this for makeup and for everything, and maybe eventually vlogs one day or something like that. But so I'll keep this channel, but I have another channel that I'm creating that I'm going to upload my visual things to. Eventually I'll transition to that. For now, I did do my live video on Facebook page, courageous-beauty.com page. I'm gonna put a little bit more of this on. I think that's the finished look, y'all. I think that's really cute. Maybe put a little highlight on and call it a day. But that's cute. Brownie and maple. Match perfect. So anyway, but that was just to tell you why I started, you know, doing this channel. And, you know, just wanting to have a purpose, have something, have an outlet where I can share, you know. I keep looking at the time, how much I got left. So I'm going to go into the Nefertiti like I did before. This is the highlighter. So I'm going to go into that. But yeah, I enjoy it, you know, and whether anybody ever listens, one person, I get this one lady, I'm going to shout you out. Thank you. I think her name is Amber. I think it's Amber. Forgive me if it's not Amber, but she always comments on my videos and it's very sweet, very nice. So thank you. Thank you so much. Hold on, y'all. Okay, well, I got a phone call. So anyway, I'm going to put this highlighter powder on, but bottom line is I wanted to start this channel and I wanted to have a purpose to do it. So I hope that you enjoy these videos with me. You know, I don't think I'm in a shell per se, because I keep saying come out of my shell. I've never been in a shell. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of those people that I can, I think I would say I'm extrovert, but, you know, when it comes to certain things, you know what I'm saying? I can be shy, you know, like the fact that some of my videos, you would even hear me sing is another thing. That's another thing for me. Like, I love to sing. I know I can sing. I know that's a gift that God has given me. But it took me some years to actually just stop being afraid and just do it, you know? You know, oh, they're going to think it's bad or whatever. Who cares what anybody think? Like, if God thought that there was not going to be at least one person to benefit from what you have to offer as your gifts, because I'm not just talking about me, I'm talking about you too, he would have never given you the gift. Because ultimately the gift is not for man anyway. It's for us to glorify God. So if we remember that, there's no reason to be afraid, you know? Because what can man do to me, you know? People can dislike you. People can talk about you. People can even hurt you or kill you or whatever. But guess what? That's still not going to separate me from God at the end of the day, you know? So I talked about a lot on this video. I hope you enjoy. I'll be getting this up soon. I'll have all the products listed in the description. Per usual, I would hope that you would invite your friends, that you would subscribe, you would like, you would chop it up with me in the comments. And yeah, I wanna hear from you. If you watch the video, don't just be a spectator. Join in on the conversation. You know, we keep it calm, we keep it cool, we keep it positive here. If there's going to be some negativity, I will block you. I have no problem in blocking folk. I blocked quite a few bots and spam already. So anyway, the reason why I have the yellow headband on is because of these glasses. So I wanted to wear them today. So I'm actually going with my sister. We're going to go get some petties. So yeah, so that's the final look. So thank you, and you guys be blessed, and until next time, bye. So really quick update. So this is my face after, let's see, 3 hours of wearing a mask. So it still looks good. You can still see my highlight. My lipstick is a little smeared, just a teeny bit, but I mean, it's to be expected. I didn't put on any gloss or anything, but yeah, so this is what we looking like. So yeah.